In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a paint dripping effect in Photoshop. But before we get started, let's just go over the assets that you need. So you need some sort of blood or paint dripping PNG. That means that if I get rid of the background here, that it's already cut out, and a subject that is already cut out. And you probably want one that has a zone here, like if I take this over here, that you can apply the kind of paint drip over, and then there's some room to drip it to. You don't want it to be like this where it's just dripping to nothing. You need some sort of overlap. Now, if you don't know how to cut things out in Photoshop, look up videos on how to select and mask, and I'll have one linked in the description below. Alright, so if you used an eraser to erase around your subject, then skip this part. But if you used a mask like me, we're going to right click and we're going to go apply layer mask. Now, only do this if you are happy with your selection, because now there is no mask to adjust and fix. It is just the selected subject and nothing else. You can see by the transparent background. So I'm going to add the background back in, and then the next thing we're going to do is click on our paint layer, and we're going to drag it and overlap it with our subject, and then go Control T to resize it. Now, the only thing you're looking for is that any corners, like there's two corners here and two corners here, that those are beyond your subject, and any kind of curve like this you want to be overlapping with your subject. So I'm just going to put this kind of down here. That looks like a good spot, and I'm not going to really worry about this drip that's going beyond, or maybe there might be a little notch right here, or maybe like a little bit missing over here. That's okay, we can fix all of that after with the smudge tool over here. So when you got your paint lined up and good to go, just click check, and then we're going to hold Control and click on that paint layer to make the selection, then click the eyeball so we don't see it anymore, then click on your subject, and then go down here to this box with a circle and add a layer mask. And as you can see, everything else disappeared but the parts that were overlapping with the paint drip selection that we made. So if we look at the mask, we can see that the white part that's showing right here is the paint drip, and the black is covering everything else. So to bring everything back here, we just have to click on our mask, go over to our paint tool, and make sure that white is in the foreground right here, and make our brush fairly large with hardness 100, opacity 100, flow at 100, and just paint the rest of it back in. Just be careful along kind of this edge to not go too low. And there you go. We have our subject back in with the paint drip. The next thing we're going to do is zoom in and fix our paint drip that's missing here, this little notch, and the part that's missing there. To do that, we're going to hold Control and click on our paint selection again right here on the paint layer to make this selection. And then we're going to click on the actual thumbnail layer of our subject, not the mask this time. And then we're going to go over to this tool right here, the Smudge tool. If you don't see it, right click. You might see Blur tool, Sharpen tool, but click on Smudge and make your brush hardness down, and make the brush size just a little bit bigger than your paint drips. So for me, something like that. And then I'm just going to click and smudge this down. So you're just going to bring a part of it down. So you can do it as much as you need to, and you're going to do it to all of them actually. So don't be too concerned here. So I'm going to do there, I'm going to do there, I'm going to smudge this down, I'm going to smudge that a bit, smudge that. It just makes it look a little bit more like drippy. Okay, so once you have your drips kind of ready to go, then go Control D to deselect, and then we're just going to click back on our mask, go back to the brush, this time flip it around to black, and make sure that our size is a little bit smaller, like this maybe, and bring the hardness to like 90. And you're just going to touch up the edges right here. So you're just going to create your own kind of curvature and edges so it looks like a nice edge there and a nice one over here. So do whatever you need to make your kind of transition from the drip to the regular one as natural as possible. So I kind of like that with mine. And then we're going to zoom out a little bit and start adding some extra little detail in here. So to do that, we're going to go and double click on our subject layer, and that'll open up the layer style menu, and we are just going to click on this one, Bevel and Emboss. Don't click on this little box here, click on the word Bevel and Emboss. And what that does is that adds this kind of like a little bit of depth to your drippingness here. So what I selected was Style Inner Bevel. technique, smooth. My depth, I have around 84 there. You can adjust to what you need to. I think just like a little bit of shadow looks good on it. Direction up, size, again, just play with it to see what you think looks good on yours. And soften, you can, again, just decide what works good for yours. I think a little bit higher on mine looks better. Down here, my angle, I have it straight up. I'm going to knock it back just a bit. I'm going to keep the angle around 90 and my altitude is around 40 here. I think that looks pretty good. Down here, I put highlight mode and shadow mode to multiply and then cranked up the opacity for actually both of them. I thought that looked the best. If you need to change these to get a different look on yours, then go for it. I'm going to click OK and zoom out. All right, so at this point, we are close to being done everything with our subject. All I'm going to do is click on it as well, the thumbnail side here of our subject, and I'm just going to go up to Filter and go to Filter Gallery, and I'm just going to put on this dry brush effect. You can pick something else or don't have this at all, but I kind of wanted this like an artsy kind of look with it. So my brush size is 7, brush detail 4, and texture 1, but you can play around with whatever to get the look that you want, and then click OK. At this point, we're ready to put on our final touches, starting with a gradient on our background. So click on your background layer, then go over to the gradient tool over here, and then click up here, which will bring up the gradient editor. All we're worried about is these two blocks right here. You can go in here and click on, let's say, I'm going to start with this basic one right there, and you just click on a block, and then you click down here on the color. I'm going to make the left one completely white, and click OK, and then this side, I'm going to click on there, and then click on here, and I'm going to make mine red. I'm going to click on my red here, but I'm just going to pick something that's very close to white, kind of like right up there, okay? So whatever your main color is, click on it and then just pick something right around here and click OK. And then to apply your gradient, you just click in the middle and drag out towards the corner. The further you drag out, the more gradual the gradient's going to be, and the shorter you drag it, the more harsh the gradient's going to be. So I'm going to drag mine from here to about there. I can, maybe a little bit less, maybe about right there. And you can see that I've selected a radial gradient. If you want a different look, like let's say you just want the linear one, then you click from one side to the other. And that'll give you a linear gradient instead of one like this that I have that is a radial one. And then to fancy it up a little bit, I'm just going to use the brush to add some paint effects in the background as well. So click on your background and then go to this box with a plus in it and add a new layer. And then for me, I'm just going to actually hide my subject layer and then go to my brush tool, and I'm going to use this Kyle's Splatter Brushes Beautiful Mess. If you don't have these, then I'm going to link a video in the description below that shows you how to download brushes, and this is the Splatter Brushes collection right here. So I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, like maybe that is good. And I'm going to make sure the brush is red. So I'm going to click here and just make sure it's a good solid red. And then I'm going to click. Now you can see this brush. It is crazy. You can see the name of it. What was the name of it? It's a beautiful mess. Well, it is. So the brush size kind of changes and the pattern that it creates changes. So I'm going to put a few in, then I'm going to bring my subject back and continue to use the brush to fill in the kind of gaps that are missing. So I'm going to kind of add something over here. I'm going to click a few more times, create something like that. And then maybe a little punch down at the bottom here to just kind of tie it in a little bit. Now, one thing I notice here is that she doesn't kind of stand out as much. So I'm going to go over to my subject layer and double click to the right over here, which brings up the layer style menu again, and we're going to click here on outer glow. So remember, not on the box, but on the word outer glow. And you're going to pick a color. I think picking a color that kind of resembles that color that you picked for the gradient is pretty good. So screen, opacity really high, and so click on here. So I'm going to pick that kind of same kind of pinkish, red color. I'm going to make it maybe a little bit more pink instead, and click OK. And for the rest of this, I cranked up my size quite a bit to have it kind of really blur out. So if you see here, if it's down low, you see this like skinny line. So blur that out quite a bit. You can see the preview right here, and the rest I didn't change, so click OK. So now that just makes her pop out a little bit more. If I click this eyeball, that's what it was before, and that's what it is now. And then as a final touch, if you want, go up to Layer and flatten your image. Only do this if you know that you are done everything else that we've done so far. And click OK. Then go up to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And all we're going to do is add a little bit of vibrance to the image and a little bit of clarity with just a touch of texture. That just makes it kind of pop a little bit more, I think, and click OK. So if we want to see before, I'm going to undo. That was before, and that's after. So if you want those kind of harsher, kind of poppier colors, then do that. If you don't, then just leave it how it was. And that's it. That's how you create a paint drip effect in Photoshop. If you got something out of this video or you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and I will catch you next time.